Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking my favorite new releases from 2024. That's right, we are getting ready to wrap up this year. I cannot believe it. And so today I just want to share some of the products that were released in this year that I was really impressed by. Now, this is not a replacement for my best of the year. That will be coming out in December next month, and it'll be a very robust list of a lot of different products. But today I just want to focus on a very edited, very intimate grouping of skincare products that really impressed me in 2024. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's talk about these new releases. Paula's Choice Retinaldehyde Dual Retinoid Treatment. Now, I fell in love with this new release because it really is like the product for me. When I stopped using tretinoin early in the spring, I did go through a lot of different retinoid products and a lot that I truly do love, but this was the one that really endeared me to it because not only did I just love and enjoy using it, I saw so many good benefits using this. I'm talking about it in the past tense, like I'm not using it anymore. I am currently using this product and I am actually about to buy my next bottle because I don't want this out of my routine at all. This is the perfect retinoid replacement for me personally right now on my current skincare journey for tretinoin. And really it's the formulation here that made the difference for my skin and why I said I've seen so many benefits with this one. We have 0.1% of retinaldehyde, sometimes stylized as retinol, right? Spelled with an N-A-L. And this is an ingredient that is more potent. It's a little bit faster acting than retinol spelled with an O, like our traditional retinol, right? And so this is a retinoid that takes less conversion steps on the skin to turn into retinoic acid, making it more potent and faster acting. And it really just is, for me, if you want to consider, stopping tretinoin as a step down in retinoids, I don't really love that kind of language, like weaker or lesser than, right? Sometimes it's just finding the right fit for our skin, and that doesn't make something weaker or lower or worse or better, right? But I guess, if you're going to stop at prescription tretinoin and you want something that is fairly close in strength, right? Probably retinaldehyde would be the place to go with. But really the difference here is the additional retinoid. Remember, the title is called Dual Retinoid. That's the name of the product, right? So we've got retinaldehyde plus 0.16% of adaptonoid. Now, this is a novel version of adapalene. Now, this is a great retinoid that only recently came to market. This is a retinoid that previous you used to have a prescription, just like tretinoin, another retinoid, right? You used to have a prescription for adapalene, and it was really prescribed for folks who are struggling with acne. Because while it does have the collagen stimulation and the well-aging benefits to it, it is particularly good at targeting all the things that make acne-prone skin, right? It's actually really good at targeting the inflammation and really helping to calm that down and to reduce redness on the skin and to target that clogged pore a little bit more effectively and to clear out your skin a little bit more effectively. And so these two things together is really the chef's kiss, right? That adaptonoid was the difference here. My skin is so much clearer than it's been in a really long time. It also, what's really interesting about this formula, compared to some of the other retinaldehydes that I have tried, is it's particularly good at reducing redness on the skin. It's particularly good at targeting the inflammation and just helping with an overall evenness to the skin. In addition to keeping the texture down and clearing out the pores and resisting breakouts, there is also just more of a glowiness to my skin from using this product. And I think it's because it's targeting inflammation so effectively that I don't have just this like random redness on my skin. Especially I would get it like around my nose and in my chin area. That just seems to be so much more reduced. And then of course I'm not getting inflamed clogged pores and acne quite as much anymore either. So I'm not getting as much hyperpigmentation. So my skin is just getting brighter and clearer and smoother over time. And of course then we've got the collagen stimulating, right? That's going to help with skin elasticity and firmness and resisting the fine lines and wrinkles. I just think it's a really smart, very potent product. And yet, like I said, my goal with stopping tretinoin, but still staying on a retinoid journey. But I wanted to stop tretinoin because I was getting to a point where my skin was just not able to handle lots of other skincare products. It was kind of hindering my ability to test things. So I wanted something that was going to be effective for my personal goals, but was going to be gentle enough to give me the flexibility to try different active ingredients, to try different skincare formulations so that I can, release reviews, right? And do my job. And I feel like this is that perfect match for my skin. It's potent enough. Again, I have very retinized skin, right? Experienced a retinoid user. I'm still getting all the benefits because that combination is really the key here. But it's gentle enough that I am able to use other actives on different nights. I'm able to incorporate different testing with less irritation, right, on my sensitive skin. So it's just a goodie overall. I think it's a really impressive formulation. And I really think it's like the one that I recommend for folks who have exactly those skin concerns that I was talking about. You want to work on well aging and collagen stimulation, right? But maybe you're also still breaking out. Maybe you do also get congestion. Maybe you have those two concerns at once. This is that type of product that combines all of those concerns and really targets multiple things in one bottle. So you don't have to use all these different actives and create like a very complicated like skincare schedule, right? It really targets a lot in one bottle. Now, let me tell you, on my bingo card for 2024, I did not have a space on that card for a new product from Stratia that is a hydrating toner. No way in my wildest dreams was I thinking that this was going to happen. And yet in October, it did. Stratia released Aqua Factory, which is their hydrating toner. And I got to try it like as soon as it was released. And I was like, ooh, this is so exciting. And then I was like, oh, but you are so freaking picky about hydrating toners, Kelly. Like, you are a picky AF queen with those hydrating toners. What do I always say? My bar for hydration is so high. So I was like, I hope that this passes my high bar, right? And it did. It did. It really did. And it really, again, it comes down to formula. I mean, do you know what lights me up in skincare, right? It's the formulations here. What really surprised me about this and what I think was different about it is the humectants that they chose to use in this formula. While it looks very simple on the surface, when you look at the ingredients list, you're like, oh, there's not a lot going on here. There is a little bit of a deeper story here. And I really think about it as like a master class in humectants. So they're using 5% of urea, which is a natural moisturizing factor that I absolutely love. I've raved about it here on my channel quite a bit. But one of my headaches with urea is that it is such a difficult ingredient to find. Like, it's not in abundance in skincare products. Like, yes, you can absolutely go to the drugstore and find some urea creams for sure. They do exist, but I'm just saying, like, it's just not had its moment in skincare. And I feel like that's actually starting to change. And I think if I do a trends prediction video for 2025, I think urea is about to have a big moment. I'm seeing a lot more people get really hyped and excited about this beautiful hydrating ingredient. Not only does it hydrate the skin as a natural moisturizing factor, it actually helps to support your skin barrier. It has an ability to help reduce irritation. It helps to reduce itchiness and helps to bring down inflammation on the skin. And especially as we start to use higher amounts. Now in this one, 5%, it's not that high of an amount, but there is a very gentle exfoliation effect to it. It helps to soften rough skin. It helps to slough away dead skin cells. And you'll see urea creams, especially like I said at the drugstore, 10%, 20%, using higher percentages that help to soften rough patches on the skin. So in 5%, we're getting a lot more of the hydrating and barrier benefits with this one, a little bit of skin soothing as well. We're not getting as much of the dead skin cell like exfoliation. So I think if you have very sensitive skin and you're hearing the word exfoliation and you're like, your red light is going off in your head, like, this may not be for my sensitive skin. I can't handle exfoliation. It's not that type of exfoliation. It's the kind that's going to make your skin feel smoother as you're using it every single day. It's the kind that is possibly going to make your skin look a little clearer over time, but it's not something that's going to go deep inside of your pores or really like resurface the tops, of your skin. This isn't AHA, this isn't BHA, this isn't chemical exfoliation. And then we also have panthenol. I'm always raving about that. Hydrates the skin and it helps your skin retain hydration by strengthening your moisture barrier and that lipid layer within the skin. We have sodium PCA in here, glycerin, beta glucan, which I love beta glucan because it's very hydrating, but it also generally tends to have just a little body to it. So it tends to have a little bit of that benefit of plumping up your skin as well. And then they're also using sodium hyaluronate, which is another one that can kind of plump the skin just a little bit too. And so it all comes together in a very thin and watery texture, but you see that there's a little bit of that little bounce, that little plump to it because of the beta glucan, right? And so it actually sinks in the skin really beautifully, great absorbency. This isn't one of those slow to absorb toners. Like it just really gets deep down in there very quickly, little bit of plumpness at the surface, but no stickiness, no tackiness, no, my fingers are starting to like, you know what I mean? The sensation you're peeling your fingers off of your face after patting it. You're like, no, it's not sticky at all. I have skin that is very prone to dehydration. We are in dehydration season, right? It's getting chilly out there. And my skin can feel it a lot faster in this season. So testing it out in the fall was like perfect because I was like, nope, skin's still hydrated. Nope, skin's still hydrated. Yep, it's still working. This is awesome. Now let's talk about another hardworking toner. This is the Numbuzin No. 5 Plus Vitamin Boosting Essential Toner. Now this is the newest addition to the No. 5 Plus line, which I do believe has existed prior to 2024, but this toner was released at the beginning of this year. It was January or February. I can't remember exactly when it was released. And I did do a video where I talked about the serum and the toner pads, as well as this toner that is in the line, the No. 5 Plus line. So if you want to dive a little bit deeper into all of that, I do already have a video for you that you can check out. But let's talk about the toner because like I said, this is all about new releases, and this is a new one that really impressed me. And for me, it's so much more than just a hydrating toner. This is a toner that, hydrates, right? But it also has like the brightening benefits of like an essence or a serum. There's just so much more going on here with the active ingredients. This is a toner that is all about vitamin C. They're using a couple of different forms of vitamin C. We've got a kiss of ascorbic acid, pure vitamin C, but then we have some stabilized forms like 3-O-ethyl ascorbic acid. And then they're also using hypofavraminoids water, which is not vitamin C, but it's nicknamed vitamin tree in K-Beauty because the extract itself, and of course, like the water and everything, it has properties similar to vitamin C. And so it's always likened to vitamin C, and it's often used in addition to vitamin C in vitamin C formulas in K-Beauty. You following me here? So this is an additional one that like has that like vitamin benefit. They're also using glutathione, which is an antioxidant that actually pairs super well with vitamin C. It helps to stabilize vitamin C. They kind of work together to boost each other. And so glutathione, especially in addition to the vitamin C here, helps to brighten up your skin, but also protect your skin as well. Good old niacinamide, always a goodie, right? Great brightening ingredient. And then they're using arbutin. Now, arbutin is a great brightening ingredient. It works a little differently than niacinamide. And so it targets the pigmentation or the discoloration within skin in a different way, like on a different pathway, right? And so it's nice to have all these different types of brightening ingredients. So if you have a multitude of brightening concerns, because I think for a lot of folks, it's not just like, oh, I just have hyperpigmentation. I know, like I can speak for myself personally. I have hyperpigmentation. I also have sun damage, and I can sometimes just have a dull skin tone, right? I'm always constantly working on keeping my skin tone even and bright, right? And so all these different brighteners work in all those different ways to target not just hyperpigmentation, not just sun damage, not just unevenness or dullness, right? It targets it all. There's also a whole host of peptides. Like I don't even have time to get into all the peptides that are in this product, but we have a nice kiss of some skin firming, some collagen stimulating types of peptides in here. They have a really big focus on well aging. And so it all comes together in a toner that has a lot more body than Stratia. You can see it almost has a little bit more of like a gel-like feel, but it's still very watery. It's still quickly absorbed into the skin. There's a little bit more plumping action happening here. And then of course the mix of peptides that they're using can also enhance that plump and firm feel on your skin. As you're continuously using this, you might notice a little bit more of that, which can be very nice, especially if you're working to kind of firm up your skin. And then the brightening in here is really why I'm putting this on the list, because it works. You will see a brighter, more glowy skin tone emerge when using this. Geek and Gorgeous Power Peptides. This is really one of those products that pleasantly surprised me because it claims that it will firm up your skin. And it does that. And it does it meaningfully. And I think it does it fairly fast. And I always try to be cautious about when I talk about fast acting skincare, because I think it's, you know, everybody's body is different. The way we respond to skincare is different. I may get a faster response or a slower response than you might get with certain products, right? But also, I just think it's so important to emphasize that skincare is a slow and long game. You know what I'm saying? It's a long-term thing. I always say it's a journey, right? And I think that in this world of skincare content, and all the reviews and all the information and all the marketing and all the advertising, we sometimes get the message that skincare should work fast on our skin. And I don't necessarily think that that's true. And I also think that it sets people up for a lot of disappointment. So I do want to be very cautious about when I say fast acting. And so when I say that about this product, I really do truly mean it. I mean it from the bottom. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. This product worked for my skin, at least, very fast. So let's dive into it. So we have 3% of Matrixyl 3000. Now this is a pair of peptides that really helps to target fine lines, wrinkles, collagen stimulation, skin firmness, skin elasticity, tone, and texture of the skin. It really just overall rejuvenates the skin. And it is one of the more respected peptides in the well-aging sphere of peptides. They're using 3%, and this is the percentage where we get all of our information and our data about what Matrixyl 3000 can do on the skin in clinical studies when they're testing this ingredient. That's the amount that they're using, 3%. They're also using 2% of Matrixyl Synth 6, and it really kind of like builds upon Matrixyl 3000. So with Synth 6, we're starting to see more of a targeted focus on the collagen stimulation. So this particular peptide helps to boost collagens 1, 3, and 4, as well as fibronectin, hyaluronic acid, and laminin within the skin. So these are all different things that help with the structure of our skin. And the structure of our skin is what keeps our skin firm, lifted, smooth, plump, and that's what helps to resist the fine lines and wrinkles, which is kind of damage to the structure of the skin. Going on that same theme, there's 4% of tetrapeptide 21. Now, this is, again, something that is helping to boost and stimulate all of those beneficial substances within the skin structure. It's helping with collagen stimulation. This particular peptide is really good for skin firmness and elasticity. Now, they're using 4%. In clinical studies, they use as low as 0.5%, and they're getting benefits and seeing the results with just that low amount of peptide. But they've really kind of supercharged it and used 4%. So you're getting a lot more of that. And I think this is probably the unsung hero of this formula, quite honestly. And then we have another really interesting peptide here, copper heptapeptide 14, which has this trade name X50 anti-aging. And this is a collagen stimulating peptide. Now they're using what appears to be a very small amount of this peptide. It's 0.001% of this copper peptide, right? And so you may be like, oh, that's like nothing, right? However, it's not just this peptide. This peptide is actually encapsulated inside of another peptide, and that peptide is heptapeptide 15 palmitate. It helps to guide, what's encapsulated in it, or it helps to pull in and helps with the efficacy, right, of other peptides and take it to exactly where it needs to go in the skin in order for it to be effective. So even though they're using a very small amount, this is actually the effective amount, and then we're guaranteeing that it's going to do what it needs to do and get where it needs to get, right, with the encapsulation process, right? So it is top to bottom, just super duper smart formulation, right? We're not just naming off peptides here. There's actually a beautiful science and a beautiful formulation and just the right amounts being used. And this serum, let me tell you, first of all, it's creamy and dreamy, which you know I absolutely love. There is a hydrating element to it. It actually sinks into the skin beautifully. It's almost like an emulsified serum. So we get this hydrating benefit, and then we get this creamy silkiness right at the top of the skin. It's not greasy, it's not rich, it's not oily, but it gets hydrating inside. It gets a little nice skin softening, moisturizing on the top, medium weight feeling on the skin. I really, really love how this feels, particularly good for the wintertime months, I think. But anyways, I love the texture of this. It sinks into the skin like a dream, but within, I think it was like 2 weeks of using this, I was like, hey, my skin feels firm. It feels plump. It feels so smooth. Like I could feel the difference under my fingers. And like my skin's already pretty firm and pretty smooth, quite honestly. But I was like, whoa, like my skin was like, in a good way, you know, but it was just like, oh my gosh, this feels so good, so different. I can feel it working. My skin looks amazing. Now let's talk about the beauty of Joseon Relief Sun Aqua Fresh Rice Plus B5. This is the new sunscreen release from Beauty of Joseon that came out this summer. And this is Beauty of Joseon's response to their original Relief Rice Plus Probiotics sunscreen. You know, this sunscreen is a lot fresher, a lot lighter on the skin. It doesn't have that heavy feel. It is semi-matte. There is very little like glossiness or shine to this one. And so it really does help to address that, like, oh my gosh, like I am a disco ball, which not everybody wants to be one. I kind of am into it, but I know not everybody's into it. And so this is very neutral, very skin. I would say it's like skin respectful, but like what I mean is like it doesn't add anything to your skin. So it's not making you all glossy, but it doesn't take anything away either. It's not mattifying and like sucking up all your oils. Like it's just whatever your skin looks like is how it's going to look when you put this sunscreen on. They changed up the chemical filters here. And so they have helped to eliminate that white cast on deeper skin tones. I just think it's a nice light, fresh kind of expression of the Relief sunscreen, and it performs beautifully. I started testing this out in, I think it was end of July or early August when this came out, and I really appreciated how different it was from the Relief Sun. And I also like that it wasn't super shiny, because that is so common with K-beauty sunscreens, right? Is that really shiny finish. And like I said, I don't mind a disco ball moment, but I do realize that like not everybody likes that, and it's not very good for certain skin types either. And you know, I have to say, I would be shocked if the day ever comes when there's a sunscreen that's released that the entire skincare community is like overwhelmingly positive on, and like nobody has a criticism of it, right? Because it's impossible. It's never going to happen. As I mentioned earlier, you know, everybody's skin is different, right? And so there has been some criticism of this one where people are experiencing pilling. And again, like I said, you need to trust people when they tell you your experience, even if it's not your own. So I'm not saying I don't trust y'all. I am honoring you. I am bringing this comment up. I have not experienced it. And so this is something that you have to take with a grain of salt. It could happen to you, and it may not happen to you. It's just something to be aware of. I'm not exactly sure what's causing the pilling. The fact that some people are getting it and some aren't really make me think it has something to do with it not matching up with certain moisturizers. And I haven't really pinned that down personally, so I can't give you a lot of guidance beyond that, but often pilling is two products interacting badly with each other. It's not always just one product. It can be, but it's two products not interacting well together. I still think this is a fantastic sunscreen. I think it helps to create more diversity in the K-beauty sunscreen landscape, which I think is also a good thing. You know, I'm thinking more from an industry perspective as well, not just from a personal, it's fun to use perspective, but I think that when we have more diversity, it helps to open up new formulations and new ways of thinking about sunscreens and new consumers for sunscreens that makes sunscreen more accessible and more easy for different folks, right, to get on board with sunscreen and to actually wear it. So I think that it's good for the industry. So do you have any favorite new products from 2024? Let us all know in the comments. And hey, even if it wasn't released this year, let us all know what you're enjoying right now anyways. And don't forget to look forward to my best of the year roundup, right? This was an additional video that I'm doing to honor the end of the year, but that bigger, more epic video, don't you worry, it's coming. It will come out next month. I know you always look forward to those, and I always have a lot of fun filming them and compiling that list. So definitely, hit subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see that video, but maybe you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. Make sure that you are subscribed, because then you're going to get that notification. I'm going to show up on your homepage, right? YouTube is going to let you know that that's coming out. And I'm also very active here on YouTube with all of my skincare content, with long form videos like this one, but I also do shorts as well. So come join our community. We'd love to have you here. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe wherever you are in the world. I love you so much. Thank you for making another year of skincare content and another year of YouTube possible. I cannot do it without you. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.